Tibet is often called the roof of the world. It's a vast, high-altitude plateau. The average elevation here is over 4,500 meters, or about 14,800 feet. This high land is home to massive glaciers, and these huge snowfields. These frozen reserves of freshwater are the source of Asia's most important rivers. They're the starting point for rivers that flow for thousands of kilometers, bringing life to so many countries. These rivers provide water for drinking, for farming, and for industry, making Tibet incredibly important, not just for China, but honestly for all of South and Southeast Asia. Its unique geography makes it a massive natural water reservoir, Asia's water tower. The rivers that begin their journey in Tibet are kind of legendary. China has, well, embarked on one of the most ambitious engineering projects in human history. It's building this massive cascade of dams across the rivers of the Tibetan Plateau. It's not just one or two dams, it's really a systematic plan to build dozens of them. This is all part of a larger strategy to harness every major river flowing from the plateau. Many are mega dams, colossal walls of concrete. Some planned sites could generate potentially 3 times the Three Gorges Dam. The Yarlung Tsangpo, which becomes the Brahmaputra, is a primary target. The Great Bend is central to those plans. China has already completed Zhangmu. Other sites like Dagu, Jiexu and Jiacha are under construction. These projects involve massive tunneling and reservoirs, creating vast artificial lakes. The engineering challenges are immense: high altitude, seismic risk, and harsh weather. The goal is a network of hydropower stations to feed China's west-to-east power grid. The most ambitious is the proposed super dam at the Great Bend, an environmental and geopolitical bombshell. Secrecy around plans and minimal consultation add to downstream anxiety. Tibet is being transformed from a natural water tower into a highly engineered plumbing system. Wild, free-flowing rivers are being tamed and turned into placid reservoirs. Building dams on this scale fundamentally changes the natural landscape. The artificial lake drowns everything in its path. Farms, forests, villages, habitats for countless species are destroyed. Fish migration paths are blocked. Life cycles broken and fisheries collapse. Dams trap sediment, sand, silt, gravel that build deltas and nourish farm soils. Clear, sediment-starved water scours downstream riverbeds and banks. The Tibetan Plateau is seismically active, the very zone where the Himalayas formed. The immense weight of reservoirs can increase stress on faults. Reservoir-induced seismicity. A major earthquake could damage a dam and unleash catastrophic floods downstream. The visual impact is profound, wild beauty replaced by industrial infrastructure. The sound of rushing water is replaced by the hum of turbines. For many Tibetans, damming sacred rivers or flooding holy sites is a profound desecration. Flooding culturally significant places erases history and spiritual landmarks. The transformation assaults both environment and spirit. The construction of these mega dams comes with a severe human cost, especially for local Tibetans. Homes, farmland, and grazing pastures are submerged. People are forced to relocate. The state frames relocations as modernization, but many lose livelihoods and traditional knowledge. Former herders end up in apartments dependent on low-wage work and state support. Cultural sites, pilgrimage routes, and burial grounds are lost, with deep impacts on identity. Dams disrupt travel, trade, and community ties that persisted for centuries. China's dam-building activities on the Tibetan Plateau have serious implications for India. The Yarlung Tsangpo is a crucial case in point. It flows east across Tibet, then makes a sharp U-turn before entering Arunachal Pradesh as the Siang. The Siang enters Assam and becomes the mighty Brahmaputra, a lifeblood for millions. It supports agriculture, fisheries, and biodiverse wetlands. Any change is dramatic. By building upstream dams, China gains the ability to control seasonal flows. In the dry season, China could hold back water to generate power or store it for itself, reducing flows to India. Conversely, emergency releases during monsoons could trigger sudden floods downstream without warning. There are several key reasons for China's aggressive dam building: insatiable energy demand and water security. Hydropower offers renewable energy to reduce coal dependence and power cities. China also faces a north-south water imbalance and has built massive diversion projects to move water north. There are proposals to extend diversions westward, potentially tapping Tibetan rivers. Building large projects in Tibet helps Beijing solidify control, integrate the region, and showcase technological might. Projects bring labor, roads, and economic ties that increase dependence on the central government. China has avoided binding international water-sharing treaties, preferring bilateral arrangements that preserve its leverage. There is an MOU to share hydrological data during monsoon seasons, but it is limited and intermittently reliable. India often relies on satellite imagery and has stepped up river gauging and monitoring at the border. During the Doklam standoff, data sharing stopped, a reminder that arrangements can be politically suspended. India invests in flood forecasting, early warning systems and community preparedness to mitigate risks. India tries to rally international support citing no significant harm and transboundary water principles. China's economic and political power reduces the effectiveness of international pressure. India must balance diplomacy, monitoring and preparedness without escalating tensions. In response, India has launched its own dam building plans in the northeast, especially Arunachal Pradesh. Partly the strategy rests on establishing prior use rights under international water law. Projects include the proposed Lower Subansiri and a proposed 2,000 MW Siang Dam. Large reservoirs could store monsoon water and buffer against upstream manipulations. But these plans are controversial. Environmentalists and local communities oppose them. The Northeast is seismically active. Many fear dams could increase risk of failure and landslides. Protests and local opposition have delayed projects and complicated India's strategic response. A dam-for-dam race risks degrading river systems on both sides, compounding climate stress. Two nuclear-armed neighbors with a history of border disputes now compete over vital water resources. Rapid dam construction, climate change, and geopolitical rivalry create a perfect storm. The most logical path forward is a comprehensive bilateral water-sharing treaty with clear data rules and dispute resolution. Cooperative monitoring, controlled release protocols, and arbitration mechanisms would reduce risk. The future of the Himalayan rivers, and the people who depend on them, hangs in a fragile balance. Decisions in the coming years will determine whether these rivers bring shared prosperity or trigger conflict.